Okay, so ATK females have decided to go with the CT beginning. Quite a good decision for the, now we want to see Jared. Quite a good decision for the start, especially on a map like Inferno. So we kick off the first round. We can see that people have decided to save their money for the most part. We have 2 flashes and a smoke on Guerilla, and a nade, a flash, and a smoke on Aspiration. ATK have decided to go with that body armor. A good decision against the Glock, especially with that kickback that comes off. It looks like it's going to be an A rush as they push out. They managed to get the pick off of FEK. One more left on side as she's trying to hold back. She's called for the rotation. She manages to get the trade, but unfortunately Lunderstud is going to get the other trade at the back end. We see here that they're getting the plants. It's all up to Gracie and Queenie to try and clutch the situation up. 3 of them alive. They have armor. They have nades. They know where the last remaining 2 are. All they need to do is play the slow, play the smart. Lunderstud gathering the information very smartly. He now knows that they're coming up lane. You can hear them pushing up as Prince is probably calling this. And Lunderstud just absolutely having a massive first round, going 3 kills, putting his name to the leaderboard as the top killer in the game. Unfortunately for ATK females, they did not manage to beat this the first round, but we can see here that the T side is going to end up deciding to go with some interesting buys. They have an AK on their team. They've got to make sure that they're not going to lose that, especially second round into the game. That's a nice nade by Queenie, who throws it down just to cause a little bit of damage onto the opposing team. Prince busy dealing that big damage onto Chloe, who is unfortunately going to have to play back and play a bit more passive in apps. We can see that the T's are slowly pushing up bAne, trying to play for that information. They're trying to bait out the rotation, but females have not, ATK has not called anything as of yet, so we'll have to see where they're going to go from here. As they fully commit to B, this is where the CT side is going to be calling a full rotation. They managed to get the pick off of Prince of Darkness. That's not good. That is the AK-47 now in the hands of the ATK team. This gives the ATK team a full chance. It's a 4v4, but what ATK does not know is down the bottom of bAne is Apparition, who manages to win back that AK-47. It's now up to Gracie and FKC to win and clutch up this round, but it's not looking hopeful as Lunderstud manages to get the pick. They know the last is in church. Lunderstud playing quite an aggressive game. They managed to wipe the floor with ATK, but we got to remember that they were saving. That was a dangerous play from raw aggression, as there was a possibility of them losing that AK-47 in the second round. That would have cost them dearly. If ATK had managed to get that AK-47 second round, it would have put them into a great situation the next round. We can see here Guerilla lining up the smoke down bAne. They're going to be doing a fast bAne, trying to take advantage of those Mac 10s, playing an eco round, trying to see if they can get a little bit more money, win some money, boost their economy, make sure that they continue to stay on top. We see that raw aggression has decided to opt in for a lurker in the form of bAne, who has opted into lurking and trying to get those rotation picks. They haven't fully committed to either site yet. As we can see on the raw aggression side, they're rather choosing to play this slowly, get information. They're probably going to push now at 1 minute, and now they've given away their position. They now know that there are people on a site, as we can see here that FK is going to make the quick rotation, still playing on the Archer's side, trying to make sure that she doesn't go in too deep Going to peek the angle here, see if she can get anything. FK gets a pick off of YB. That's huge. They managed to deal huge damage, but Lunderstud just absolutely demolishing them. FK manages to get the trade though, but Guerilla and Apparition managed to win this side in the end. They are going for that A plant, and we see that it is all up to Gracie and Queenie once again. The B side players having to clutch up the situation. They do have good weapons, they have armors, and there is a flash in their disposal. We'll have to see how they're going to take the opportunity. They throw the flash, but Guerilla managed to spot it out of the corner of his eyes and gets the quick flick onto Queenie and Apparition onto Gracie, and that is the third round going to Raw Aggression. Unfortunately, this is going to mean that ATK is very broke for this next round. As you can see, their elo is absolutely destroyed for this next round, but that doesn't mean that they don't have a chance at clutching this up, at winning this next round. So we'll have to see how this one pans out going into the long run. As we see again, they are opting for more aggressive play from the CTs. They are opting in to try and poke as much as they can, play for the trades, but Lunderstud managing to land a massive headshot onto Queenie, causing them to now be at a 4v5. There goes the next, as we see big fights happening down in there. Orbi getting picked out, unfortunately, but Apparition is there to give in the trade. That leaves A side completely open. Terrorists are going to move in quickly, as we see again Prince of Darkness playing at the back, trying to play for those rotation picks, trying to see if he can demolish them, and he gets the double headshot, ending this round 4-0. Absolutely huge performance from Raw Aggression this evening. Absolutely dominating the first 4 rounds of this game. But we can see here that ATK have now got a full buy. They have a full setup, which may cause a few troubles. You can see that they have that AWP in mid, busy watching for that peak. From second mid, manages to get the pick. That is CJ. CJ managing to get the pick. No trade given, so this puts the terrorists in a 4v5 situation. They know that the AWP is now in mid, and they know that that's going to cause them a lot of troubles. It looks like they're setting up for an A rotation, but again we have and FK managing to get that kill onto Apparition. This puts them at a 3v1. This is going to be a tough one for them to clutch up, but we can see very slowly that Guerilla and Lunderstud are slowly moving up out of apps. Lunderstud getting that pick and very wisely choosing to rotate off, as there are 2 players watching mid. We still have Prince of Darkness busy lurking at the bottom of Banana, waiting for those B players to make their rotation. He's deciding to opt in to come up mid. Little does he know there's 2 players waiting for him at the end of that map. 2 players right there, and he's still got this player to watch out from behind, but unfortunately that's it. It's going to be all up to Lunderstud, who gets picked off by CJ from ATK. That is the first round to ATK, and as I said, they had a full buy this round. That means that they were fully capable of winning that round. But now this round should be interesting. This could go either way. We see that we have 2 FAMASs on the ATK side, whereas Raw Aggression managing to buy fully for this next round, getting ready to absolutely dominate the competition. Prince of Darkness missing that first shot. He's going to try get that second peek, but Guerilla managing to land a shot through the smoke, opening up mid. That is now 3 players on B, 1 player on B. That is a massive turn of events that has just happened here. We're going to have to see how they're going to play this one out. That's a 4v5, but Gracie does have that AK in her hand, meaning that she can dish a lot of damage. She's busy checking all the corners, making sure that there's no players sitting on the other side. CJ has decided for a more passive approach here, sitting in library waiting for anyone to come up mid, whereas Chloe is busy watching apps and making sure that no one is going to jump out of balcony, ambushing Chloe. But we see again Gracie getting a little bit too aggressive there, and being far too low, giving them giving raw aggression a very quick and easy kill there. Again, not deciding on a site yet. They haven't committed fully on a site yet, although we see here that Apparition is busy making the rotation all the way around. They do look like they're setting up for B push, and as they come out, they don't know that Queenie is busy sitting on top of Coffins, managing to get that absolute bang of a headshot onto WGB. But the T's are going to still manage to get the bomb down, as Guerilla is waiting for the two players that they know are possibly inside of Church. That is a big pick from Prince through the smoke onto Chloe, and unfortunately CJ's just not able to clutch that up. That is going to put their money again in a little bit of a desperate state. Not too bad. They are still able to fully buy, but they're going to opt in for a save round. Very smart from them. We see here that Raw Aggression is playing the smart move, busy feeding guns to their teammates, making sure that each one of them is fully kitted, using that massive economy that they currently have. We see here that they're going to take that quick pick, moving in, making sure that they can get those early picks, but they've left B side completely open, making it very easy for Raw Aggression to walk onto site. They've absolutely decimated this way. And unfortunately, the eco round does not look like it's going to work out in ATK's favor. They took a chance, but unfortunately, they were not able to get that, as Prince of Darkness lands the first shot on CJ. But ATK, knowing that it's a save round, are still going to try and cause as much damage as they can. They're going to try and get as many guns as they can, as it's up to Darkness to finish the round off, getting 3 massive AWP shots off, absolutely wiping ATK, causing them to now have no guns going into the next round. But luckily for them, they did choose for a save round, so they are able once again to buy up fully. We see that the AWP is back in the hands of CJ. She managed to win a round with this AWP, so we'll see what she's able to do this time round, as Queenie moves up to Banana, throwing their passive Molotov to try and stop the early push. So Apparition throwing the bomb. Oh, as WGGB Annie manages to get the first pick of the round, causing the CT players to have to play one play on B. They have come out, but they have not shown the bomb, so this might be a fake play, as we see here Guerilla picking up the bomb and deciding to continue his move onto A. Queenie also just absolutely, they're playing a very passive game here, as CJ now knows that there's a lot of players in mids. She's gonna move round for that library pick, but Queenie managing to get the pick on Lunderstud through the smoke. Gorilla's gonna take down Casey, but Queenie manages to get the pick. It's all up to FJ, CJ and Gracie to clutch this round up for ATK, as Prince of Darkness and Apparition are now going to set up for the defense. They've got good positions. They've got an AWP and an AK. We'll have to see how this one plays out for them. Gracie opting in for that AK rather than the AWP. Great move from her, considering that she knows that these are probably going to be very close range fights. Apparition playing a very dirty little flash off, managing to flash the opposing team. Gracie and CJ now know that one player is in pit. They're going to force aggression onto site. They managed to clutch it up, but I don't think that they have enough time to get the defuse, as I believe that T side is going to take the the 7th round of this tournament. This time round, they're going for a half save. ATK going for a half save, getting the FAMAS ready with 2 deagles, an AWP, and an M4. With no armor on the AWP player. Risky play, but if it works out, it's going to be a big win for them. Gracie managing to get the first pick of the round onto Guerilla, but unfortunately not managing to land another stake. Trade both times, and they have one A site. Raw Aggression managing to take A site fully as they set up for the defense once again, up to CJ and up to Queenie. But I have a feeling that they're going to play for the save rather than try and push in for the aggression. We can see here CJ busy pulling back, opting in rather for the save than to push. Same with Queenie pulling back. They're going to give this round to Raw Aggression. Raw Aggression is playing a really great game at the moment. They are busy playing. They're busy setting it up. 2 in mid, 1 in apps, and 1 down bAne. The bAne player obviously waiting for the rotation from the CT side down B and getting the picks onto them. They're going to play a little bit aggressively, looking for the 2 players, trying to prevent them from having any guns into the next round. But unfortunately, they're not going to be able to find those players before the end of the round. But absolutely great gameplay by Lunderstud and by the rest of Raw Aggression. ATK having a rough first couple of rounds, but we'll have to see how they're going to do throughout these next 3 games. They opting often for a triple setup on B. Raw Aggression have not very often pushed onto B, so that might not be their play. They might need to start to play a little bit differently, but we see here CJ starting to move around into the A bomb site, which is going to be very interesting. We can see here that Lunderstud is leading the lobby with 11 kills to 1 assist and 3 deaths. Prince of Darkness with 10, Apparition with 9, Guerilla with 6, and Anna with 3. Unfortunately not looking as powerful on the ATK side, but it's only the first half of the first game, so anything can happen, anything can go at this point as Casey manages to get a really good shot off. She's going to play that more defensive role. They haven't gotten the bomb onto site. It's currently a 3v3, both teams being fully kitted, having nades at their disposal, as Casey manages to land an amazing shot onto WGGB. But they know that one player is down, but Casey landing a nasty AWP shot onto Lunderstud. They now know where they now know that the last player is in mid, along short, but he's going to try and sneak round, see if he can get onto B. As he manages to do that, he manages to get all the way around, but he's going back. It looks like he's going to try play a bit of an aggression. He's taking it slowly, unfortunately running out of time and having to save that AWP to see for the next round. If he had been killed there, he would have had no money for the next round. That is the second round to go to ATK. As I said at the beginning, this game is far from finished. We still have 2 more games after this, and ATK winning a very crucial round there, putting themselves back on that board, making sure that Raw Aggression know for a fact that they are here. But Prince of Darkness absolutely landing an insane AWP shot onto Chloe there. Absolute disappointment for CT side as they are now in a 4v5 situation. We'll have to see how this one pans out as we continue to watch the game transpire. We know that the CT side is starting to push down bAne a little bit. They're going to go for a lurking role rather than a on-site role. So we've got Queenie set up here, busy waiting for a push for something to call to her teammates to make sure that they know that they have decided to go B. But it definitely is set up for an A execution, as Raw Aggression have fully committed to the A side. They managed to get the trade onto site. Right now it's a 2v2 situation. We can see here that CJ, knowing that someone's there but not being able to land any shots. Queenie coming up short over here, but she's got smoke to deal with, and unfortunately Prince of Darkness landing an absolutely amazing shot through the smoke. It's now down to CJ versus Guerilla. Guerilla, knowing full well where she is, does a little jiggle peek, does a very naughty little jiggle peek there, lands a nasty shot right there, managing to win the 9th round of this game to Raw Aggression. They have opted in to take a pause, take a breather, have a little bit of a rest, which is great to see. The game so far has been quite active. Prince of Darkness landing some absolutely insane AWP shots onto many of the ATK players, but CJ also landing incredible AWP shots, preventing a lot of the time pushes from Raw Aggression onto site. So we're going to have to see how this one pans out in the long run. CJ definitely being their AWP player. They're going to have to change up how they were originally playing. Their attempt by playing one player in the cubby and several players on the A side was actually quite a smart play. Had Raw Aggression decided to go up onto B side, they would have had to deal with losing 1 or 2 members by the player positioned here. So we can see here that they've opted to a 4-man stack on A, rushing and trying to just play off of their eco round this time round. And it works out. Chloe landing absolutely amazing shots, being able to pick up the AK-47 there. But we'll have to see how that one works out. Doesn't manage to keep the AK, unfortunately, as it's all down to Gracie, the B-side player, all alone to try and clutch this one up. But Raw Aggression being aggressive, as their name suggests, absolutely wiping the floor with them, making sure that they know that we don't care if you're going to rush us, we are going to win no matter what. We're opting into the 13th round out of the half. 2 more rounds until halftime, when the teams will swap over. Raw Aggression leading by 10 rounds to 2. ATK have not had the greatest CT round this time round, but hopefully they'll be able to pull it back in the long run with their T side playing. Inferno is a CT favored map, and so it might be a difficult task for them to be able to pull it back from Raw Aggression for this first map, but nothing is impossible, as we have seen once and once again. They have the possibility of landing some very nasty shots. They are skilled players with good perceptions, as the rare players are, as CJ once again proving that she is a good AWP player, landing a great shot onto Apparition, preventing the push. As we see here, WGGB is setting up for that lurker position. Little do they know that the team is actually starting to push up Banana. That might work out to Raw Aggression's benefit, as there is only 1 player, now 2, on that B side. They get the first pick, but they don't know that they managed to get the second pick. Guerilla absolutely landing some amazing shots on them. They are going to get that bomb plant, get some money in their pocket. It's all up to CJ and Chloe to clutch this round. There is still that AWP, very dangerous in the hands of CJ, who manages to get the double pick. And it's now a 1v2 situation. ATK is absolutely coming back this round, as we see that they are playing their round carefully, knowing full well that there could be a player anyway, clearing their corners, checking their sights, but and managing to clutch it up for raw aggression. Why just mopping up the floor, floors that his teammates had put themselves into, managing to clutch that round up. That should not have ended the way that it did, but as I have said again, CJ, with the AWP in the hand of CJ, they are that is where it belongs. She lands some great shot. Prince of Darkness, also a great AWP player, landing many great shots onto the ATK side. It looks like it's going to be an A execute. Again, that player sitting at the bottom of mid, just lurking, waiting to see what happens. Anna busy peeking out of apps, trying to see if she can get that first pick before he moves out, but not knowing that there's two players behind them. Unfortunately, Queenie not landing that, Casey not landing the shot that she needed to land, but CJ managing to come in and get that quick kill off of Lunderstud, who unfortunately was unawares of that player. But they're going to just absolutely clean up this first round. ATK had a really good round considering they got in quickly. That apps push was actually absolutely marvelous. They had two players sitting on the stairs right here. Raw Aggression had pushed up, jumped into apps, and was sitting here ready to push out. But little did they know, there were two players set up in App's apartment waiting for them. So very good play from ATK. Unfortunately, did not manage to get the execution off, as Prince of Darkness managing to land that shot. CJ should know better. You do not crab walk. You do not peek your shoulder like that to a good open mid, challenging the wrong player this time round, it seems, as Anne lands a very nasty nade. But Casey managing to just handle it like a pro, and landing a really great headshot, causing this to be a 4v4 situation. Again, both teams with full guns in their hands, but now Queenie giving up her position as Guerilla and Lunderstud are going to push up, trying to show the bomb, trying to give the impression that they're going to push B. Again, ATK unawares that Apparition is still sitting at A, waiting for that rotation. They managed to clean the side as Guerilla gets the last pick. It's now up to Chloe and Casey to clutch this round up. 2 M4s, but they don't know that Apparition is right behind them. Casey managing to do an insane flick and land that shot. It's now up to Casey to win this round for ATK. She still stands a chance. They don't know where she is. Is he going to peek that? Oh, Prince of Darkness managing to spot her just out of the corner of her eyes, as that is going to bring the conclusion to the first half of this matchup. It's been a really great game so far. We've seen some incredible plays. We've seen some great maneuvers by players like Casey, by CJ, who has constantly clutched up the rounds for their players. We now go into round 13. We now go into round 13 out of 15. If Raw Aggression manages to win the next 3 games in a row, they will take home the first map of this tournament. But you can never rule out anyone. There is still a chance that ATK will be able to come back and win this. It will be interesting to see how Raw Aggression set up, considering the fact that ATK played a very aggressive B site the first time round, opting in to only place 2 players on the A side. So we'll have to see how Raw Aggression goes about setting up. They also opt in for the 3-player stack on B first round and the 2-player stack on A, but it's going to be a very quick B rush from ATK as Anne manages to land a big shot. So does Guerilla. That's 2 players off of ATK down. It's now left to CJ and Gracie to clutch this one up, but they've got players behind them as well. I think this is going to be a very quick clean-up of the round as Raw Aggression manages to play that perfectly. In pistol rounds, 90% of the time, people push B, and so they will 3-stack. They will place 3 players on B side for that rush, and a lot of the other times, the A side players will wait, listen for the rotation from the B players, and push out very quickly and flank the other team's players. We can see here that Anne is playing for that aggressive push, but ATK not opting in for an aggressive push once again. They're all going app side. This is now an interesting strat. If they get this right, they are going to filter and they're going to waterfall out, hopefully getting the pick off of the 3 players sitting here, but it doesn't seem to be so, as they're going to push out very quickly and take the early games. But again, Apparition is behind them, Guerilla managing to land quick shots, but Raw Aggression just clutching up round after round. They're just not giving ATK a breathing room. They're just saying, no, not today. Guerilla coming in with 26 kills, along with Prince of Darkness with 16 and with 8, Lunderstud with 14, and Apparition with 12. This is quite a interesting match, as a Raw Aggression definitely seem to be very aggressive, definitely winning a lot more of the rounds than ATK are able to at the moment. But this is only map 1. They still have a chance to win the second map and take this to a 3-round game. We'll have to see how they perform, though. I'm not too sure that they have it within them to pull back this match, but it's entirely possible that they manage to pull it back in the long run. We'll have to see how this goes about happening. Wow, you guys are totally watching me browse Twitter quickly. Because I got a notification. Raw Aggression kind of falling apart a little bit here. As the aggression... Oh no, sorry. ATK females falling apart from the Raw Aggression. It's up to Gracie and Casey to clutch this round up. Raw Aggression opting in for not a full buy, but they do not know that Guerilla is sitting on B side waiting for them to peek, and he manages to finish the round. That is the first map completely done and dusted with